Hi, I'm back. Sorry for the long gap in between. I didn't really had time to update because there are plenty of things that I'm pushing for this major update. There's, as you can see, quite a fair bit of changes, and I would like to go through them one by one. I think one of the previous mentioned pain points that I had was the interaction with picking up items, right? Like I think if you recall in one of the videos, when I'm running towards the item, firstly I can't choose what I want to pick. And secondly, it's sometimes kind of after you've picked the first object, it doesn't pick the subsequent ones. So what I had to do in the past, if you watch the previous few recordings, is that I have to run back and forth like this, like between this and back, right, towards the item that I want to pick. But now the system has been upgraded, as I mentioned. It was one of the more painful things that I wanted to improve on. So I've been building that system using line trace, and that's fully built by myself, no AI at all. But there are subsequent features that I'll be showcasing today where there is involvement of AI, and then in between some things that AI didn't really do well and I had to step in again. So again, I think AI is really helpful, but it's not perfect, right? So I really want to emphasize that. Okay, so coming to this, you can see that in the middle of the screen, just where this area here, there is that circular icon that came up, right? And that's basically one of the interaction icon to tell you that, okay, you've entered a space where you can start picking up items. So as I'm reaching, you can see that the icon appears again. So that's one other feature that was added, and that's also non-AI that was fully added by myself. Simple. You don't need AI for that. And then subsequently, as you're getting closer, it's also detecting your radius, right? So as you're getting close to the object, you can see that the button E means that you can now interact with them. As I'm moving towards the right, you can see those items that were previously there, now they don't have any E icon to interact, right? On keyboard, you hit E to interact. And as I'm moving, you can see that the item is gone. And then as I'm reaching here, those E icons on those ends has also been gone, right? So if I try to pick those, they don't really interact anymore. There's one item that's gone here, which is the one that I've picked up. And that's also the last item that my mouse has hovered over. So it's kind of stored in the system saying like, hey, if you pointed at it before, now I can just pick it up. That was the intent. And as I've mentioned previously as well, as I'm approaching this area here, when I'm picking something up, I cannot choose which item I want to pick, right? So it's going to be any item that first detects my overlap, and it will be the item that the character will be picking up. Now with this cursor, I basically am shooting like a ray onto any surfaces that is there, and then picking the item up directly, right? So in that case, it's like, okay, if I want to pick up this wrench, I could just aim at it. Let's pick up this phone, pack, wire, right? So we can do that by the selection. So now again, let's say the hammer, this wooden pole, the knife, and then let's go with the oil and then the wire, right? So I can basically select what I want to carry, and this is quite important for me because at least my game, because the inventory system is limited, and you can't be picking up everything that you want. I've also implemented a stack limit, meaning each slot that you can pick up, where you can see here, each slot that you can pick up, there's a limit of 20 per slot, right? So that means you quickly kind of build up your inventory system, and you want to kind of declutter that. So picking only the items that you need is important, and I wanted that feature to be upgraded. And the whole kind of E popping up icon is also something that I've implemented as well. So all those are non-AI. And yeah, basically highlighting all these items, showing them here, and that ties back into the inventory system, right, where all these were kind of showcased before. So again, I can kind of shift them as I was demoing the last time, is that I can re-customize this and organize things around. I'm not sure if you noticed, there are actually a few more items added to the backlog, into the icons. So items that you can pick up are also added into. I've also modeled them, and you can see that they are representative to the icons that you see as well. So at least you know what kind of objects you're picking up. The previous icons, the previous features of discarding still works. So let's say if I discard this item and then I come back to it, yeah, the feature is still there, so you can still kind of pick and go to non, like if like it's not just working on this shelf, you can go to any item and the E icon appears, right? So then you can pick those up again. And even if I'm running down and we are not looking towards the floor, you can see that circular icon in the middle of the screen comes up, means that you've ran over something that you could pick up. So if you look down, you'd be like, oh, okay, shit, yeah, I've missed this one, right? So now I can pick this up. And this is the storage system, which I'll go through later as well. But I wanted to highlight that all these things are now also, there were a couple of bugs that we found, and I need to make sure they are interswitchable. So like, for example, this one, let's pick up this one. Yeah, these items are interswitchable. I think this was already working before, but it wasn't working with the storage system. So yeah, we've covered the pickup system, we've covered the interaction system, which is having those E icon that pops up, and then the equipping system. We do have the crafting system, which I want to go through next as well. It's again, I mentioned these are part of the gameplay, and I need player to understand the items that you need for you to craft those items. So what I did was adding a tooltip, which is something like this. The tooltip was built by AI, but then it wasn't working. So that's where I need to step in and look at where the code was broken and then make the feature work again, right? So I was able to identify certain things. I believe this is not truly the AI's fault, because halfway through it's setting it up, the Unreal Engine crashed. When we reopen, I'm seeing one set of reality, the AI is seeing a different set of reality. Basically, when we were conversing, he sees that the connections were linked, but while I see it in the blueprint, they weren't, right? So I was sounding off saying that they weren't, AI was saying they are, and then basically we're seeing two sets of reality, and then I have to step in and kind of fix those things up and get it working. What's also cool is that I needed all this UI to be scaling as well. So when I'm pulling this screen, you can see that the UI is scaling, right? All the inventory, equipment, the HUD is also scaling, including the pop-up. Right, the pop-up wasn't scaling before. It was kind of like appearing at the top left corner here, or it was like humongous, and it doesn't scale. I need it to scale, so that was also one of the thing that the AI couldn't fix, and I had to go in and fix it myself, right? So over here, what's interesting, I just wanted to tap in on the crafting ingredients, and basically every item, as I've probably showcased the last round, was I can click on something, it will craft, and it was me kind of verbally saying like, oh, I know this needs certain items because I built the recipe, but for a player you wouldn't know, right? So this tooltip will be very helpful, and it's going to tell you what ingredient it needs, but not just that, it's going to tell you what equipment, what ingredients you currently have, and what ingredients you are missing, right? In terms of quantity, or in terms of the entire set, right? So in this case, what we are saying is that the glass jar, over here the glass jar is highlighted in red, and that means the entire glass jar is missing. There is no glass jar in your current inventory system. So let's go ahead and grab a glass jar. A glass jar that's over here, right? And again, tapping onto the ability to pick only the item you need, that's really helpful. That was the thing that I was aiming for. In this case, I'm able to say, I need a glass jar, I'm just gonna pick a glass jar, right? That is really cool. So now the glass jar has been taken in, right? And then I recall this needs a powder as well, right? So you can see two times powder. So I do have 2 times powder, right, over here. So then I can craft this now, right? So I'm gonna click on this, and it's gonna craft. And once I crafted it, it's gonna update that, saying that, hey, you are now not having a glass jar, and you don't have any more powder, right? So then that 2 item turns red. What if I only have 1 powder, whereas it needs 2, right? So let's go and pick one powder, and come back again. Now the powder is going to highlight saying like, you have a powder, but you need 2 of it, right? Which is why the 2 times is highlighted red. I see that you have powder in your inventory, but you're missing 2 of it. So I will go and grab 1 more, like that, and then come back again, and it's gonna now turn white, right? So that's basically a general sense of like, okay, as you're going around, you don't really have to recall what that recipe is. You can just read the tooltip, and at the same time, it's gonna tell you what's missing, and in terms of quantity, the specific quantity it needs. And the way I'm coding all this is that I can change the numbers on the fly. And all of these numbers are going to extract from that database, right? So I'm not going to go into like every inventory to update my crafting requirements. I'll update it in the third person blueprint, and then everything downstream is going to receive that data. That was important for my infrastructure that I'm building, right? So right now there's also, let's try to build this one, right? So we can see that there is one battery that is missing, there is one metal nail that is missing, and we do have one coil lined, and then one electrical switch, right? So we are missing the first and the third item. So let's go and grab that, one battery and one metal nail. So let's remember those. One battery, I recall there's a battery here, this one. After it's gonna be textured, it's gonna be a lot clearer as well, right? So don't worry about that. Okay, so one battery, and I recall it's and one metal nail, right? So metal nail is just the one beside. And when I come back again, now all of them are highlighted white, right? So I can now click on this and craft. The other thing that didn't come up was this number here. Like, well, when I already have finished crafting, the numbers don't really update. So I think right now it's working properly. And then at the same time, right now, when I don't have enough items, for example, you can see that the first, third, and fourth item is red. When I click on it, the percentage bar still runs. That's something I want to fix in the future as well. So hopefully in the next update, we'll see something. Okay, and then let's go and look at the storage space. So the storage space right now, because as I mentioned, the inventory system will eventually run out. And to be just to sharing as well, just to share as well, I think I'm working on a crafting upgrade where you will get more inventory spaces, and this bottom 3 row of slots will not be available at the start, right? So that means when you start off with a game, you're working with only 40 slots instead of how much is 64, right? Instead of 64. So it's 8 by 8. You'll only be working with 40 slots at the start, right? Which is until like here, row 5. And then subsequent 3 rows is gonna not be available for you. You need to have your equipment upgrades for you to reach all slots here. So that means storage space will be very important, right? And all these storage space are scattered kind of across different parts of the map and in your base as well. So you can organize things as you wish. So for example, right now I want to kind of carry this over, or if I want to equip this was a bug I was just fixing an hour ago, is that it doesn't do a switch between the two, right? So let's say I want to keep the jeans inside the storage and I want to wear this military camo pants, right? So once I drop this, it's going to interswitch. This wasn't working before, right? So now it's really working. And then I can just put this here. I'm also having stacking issues like that, right? I want it to detect that it's the same item, so they should stack. So the only way that it's stacked right now in the way to stack it is it's in storage, right? And then I'll drop it here. Technically, the AI was saying that I could just drop it inside and hover over. Like, it should work like that, right? So the stacking should work, but it doesn't always. So I'm still trying to catch like when it doesn't, and report it to the AI and then have that fixed. So over here as well, you see this is number 2 and this is 1. When I drop it over, it becomes 3, right? That is the intent, right? It's when you drop it over something, it should cover it. But once I drop it inside empty space, it doesn't merge anymore. It's only happening when I drag from storage to inventory. Okay, so this value is 0. I believe it's a bug, so I need to look into that. But over here, as I'm dragging into this, it's also going to detect if there is a maximum quantity, right? So each slot, as I mentioned, is going to be a total of 20. So this slot is already full. So when I drag, it's going to take up the second slot, right? It doesn't stack automatically because this has already reached its limits. So that means even the storage space, you will run out as quickly soon, right? So you'll probably need a few more for you to craft those items. To store those items. So let's try and organize. Let's say over here I have a couple of let's just drag this one and then put them together, 7. Let's kind of organize that all this storage space is meant for equipments, right? Meaning like all these weapons that I have, let's store them here. And then this one, let's store like the usual kind of like loots and sorry, these are kind of like crafting upgrades items, right? And then this one, let's store all the kind of clothings that we have here, and then we'll just put them there, right? Just a mini game so that you see the functionality, right? So I'm gonna start putting in, let's say, all the weapons here, as I said. right? I'm gonna start putting it there. You can see that it's stacked just now. This is gonna stack again, I think. Yes, good. And then dropping this here. Do I have any more weapons? Let's see. This one is also a weapon. Because if you drop it here, you can see that it's a weapon. Also, let's try to swap it, right? It swaps, and that works. Okay, I think the rest are, this is belonging to a costume, so maybe I can do a stack here. I'll drop this and stack it like that. And this becomes the costume category. Alright, let's then organize this to, I was saying supplies, right? These are usual supplies. So let's drop the usual supplies here. Drop them in here. Let's pull this out because these are considered costumes. These are normal loots for crafting. Right, and then after that I'm going to come back here and find that, oh wait, there's also a couple of crafting items here. So let's organize them. Yeah, as I said, this one is a bug, so I need to find that there is a that's some, because it shows a 0 means that it shouldn't exist, right? So there is something that I need to look at. I got a hunch of what it could be. Is because I also set up a save game function, which is something I want to show you as well. That's for later. Okay, so right now let's reorganize this, right? I was saying like, okay, I'm really trying to kind of organize things, so let's try to organize them and put them all together. Okay, great. Now I have like I'm not sure what happened here. I think there's something wrong with the save game. And I only originally had 20 and 4, and now I have 20 and 20. Right, so that original rack that I dragged from the other storage to here, and then the oil, the wire bundle are also kind of buggy. So you can see it's not really working. All right. Anyways, so it doesn't stop us from showcasing what I want to show. Right now, what's cool is that let me see. I think let's pick up a few more items as well, so that I can showcase that the numbers that we have inside. Okay, let's go to this one. Inside the inventory, inside the crafting, and inside the storage are completely identical. So let's take a screenshot. Right, so that we can compare it later. I'm going to drag it aside, and then let's stop game, and then let's start the game again. This is something that I'm building on the side, so let's run back to where we were before. Ignore the error at the top. That's because I'm using BSP, and it is not Nanite friendly. Okay, so let's come back and look at this again, and let's bring back the icons that we had just now, right? So over here on the left, we have the same set of items, right, including the buggy one. It's working there. This one too, like 2 1 1 2 1 1, and then over here we have 3 2 3 2 2 3 2 3 2 2. Right, and then 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2. Right, so that's basically the storage. Sorry, the save game function is also fully working, and it's not just that one single storage. All of them are saving. See, we were kind of storing all the normal loots, right? And then lastly over here, it's all the weapons. Right, so all of them are in there. So as I mentioned, it's a major push. This update, I have updated the pickup system. I have updated the inventory system that works together with the crafting, right? So when I craft, the tooltip recipe knows what I have in the storage system, in the inventory system I mean. And then when I move to the storage system, those things can kind of cross over and then also work together with the equipment. So like these 3 domains are speaking to each other. They are not kind of standalone items. Yeah, so that's a major update. I'll update you the next time. I know the previous video was a bit dry, so I'm not gonna go into the details. Yeah, I'll speed this up. I have actually a few more things that is working under the hood, and I'm excited to show you guys the next round. Alright, thank you. Take care. Bye.